there, y'all looking up at me and I like, JB, why are you doing so close to the screen this morning, this evening, this afternoon, this night? I don't care, but guess what? Good afternoon and early evening. Welcome to the RBN Roundtable on the Revolutionary Blackout Network. I'd like to give a warm welcome to all of you and remind you that the Roundtable streams every single Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You're here, and that's all that matters. Please make sure to click the thumbs up if you like what we're presenting. And also, if you are new, if you aren't subscribed, what are you doing? Come on in. Take off your shoes. The water's fine. And also make sure to click that bell icon because you know that the YouTube algorithm don't like us. We had a little bit of an example of that today. So just to let you guys know, sit on down. Welcome. And hello to my glorious and wonderful co-host, Sabby Sab. She having a great hair day today, by the way.
Hi, JB.
Good to see you, sis. How you doing?
Good. I just put it in clips because it's really humid today, which is unusual right now in Massachusetts. But I walked outside because I was taking out the trash and I was like, yikes. I was like, I am not going to try to flat iron my hair today.
Yeah. yeah. It's just, climate change is a pain, isn't it? People need to realize and recognize. Good Lord, what the hell?
It's true. It's true.
Ladies, are you tired of and men with long hair? Are y'all tired of your hair getting frizzy? Well, guess what? Blame climate change. All that humidity in the air. Come on now. Anyway,
I don't know how people do it. I don't know how you guys do it in Florida, JB. Because I've been to Florida during spring break one year and it was so humid.
I don't know how we do it either. I just don't know. I have no idea. It just exists. Yeah. It's just so hard. Anyway, so yeah, good to see everybody here in the chat today. I'm so stupid. So good to see everybody here in Rockfin as well. So good to see Lady Alex in the Rockfin chat, as well as Sweary Fairy, Bryce, a non-user. Name is Mike Tony Plow. So good to see you, Cryptician. Oh, it's so good to see all your beautiful faces. Nick O. We got Lawrence Johnson in the house, Cryptician, Dan Lowe, Troy, and KC Ateres. So good to see you, human being. It's always good to see you, human being. Who else is in? Monarch, Gamer, and Ganja for Life. And did I say hello to you, Lawrence Johnson? If I didn't, hello, Lawrence Johnson, Cape Socialist. It's so good to see you all. And thank you, Troy, for the super chat. Troy says, everybody, like and share and comment, etc., etc. Please, thank you so much. Beautiful, beautiful person. Okay, Sabs, which one you want to get into first? You get first pick.
We can start with the California one.
Okay, we can do that. All right, let me share my screen. Share it.
Oh wow.
Okay. Thinking of what? There's just so many ads on this. What? Good Lord.
I have ad blocker. You want me to share it?
You might need to, because I'm seeing this bald dude's face. I mean, it's still showing, but all these ads, like, good Lord.
Yeah, mine doesn't look like that. I'll share it.
All right.
Yeah, you got to get ad blocker. It's free. You just
damn
download it. I know.
Thanks, Sabs.
Okay.
Wow.
So Roger Meadows, again, shout out to Roger Meadows. He's been doing a lot of stuff on the background. He actually sent this to me. So this came out 2 days ago, and it appears that California is trying to get reparations. So this is interesting. California group votes to limit reparations to slave descendants. So let me go down here. There's Gavin Newsom. By the way, he is a 100% shit lib. Just FYI. He's also related to Nancy Pelosi, for those who don't know.
What?
Oh, yeah, you didn't know that?
No, and no. I did not know that.
Yeah, he's related to Nancy Pelosi. Yep.
Nice.
Yep. So here we go. California's first in the nation task force on reparations voted Tuesday to limit state compensation to the descendants of free and enslaved Black people who were in the U.S. in the 19th century, narrowly rejecting a proposal to include all Black people regardless of lineage. Excuse me. The vote was split 5-4, and the hours-long debate was at times testy and emotional. Near the end, Reverend Amos Brown, president of the San Francisco branch of the NAACP and vice chair of the task force, pleaded with the commission to move ahead with a clear definition of who would be eligible for restitution. So I'm going to scroll down here. Governor Gavin Newsom signed legislation creating the 2-year reparations task force in 2020, making California the only state to move ahead with a study and plan, with a mission to study the institution of slavery and its harms and to educate the public about its findings. Reparations at the federal level has not gone anywhere, but cities and universities are taking up the issue. The mayor of Providence, Rhode Island, announced a city commission in February, while the city of Boston is considering a proposal to form its own reparations commission. The Chicago suburb of Evanston, Illinois, became the first U.S. city to make reparations available to Black residents last year, although there are some who say the program has done nothing to right a wrong. So let me go down here. Those favoring a lineage approach said that a compensation and restitution plan based on genealogy as opposed to race has the best chance of surviving a legal challenge. Oh, that's a typo. That should be the best chance. Who wrote this? I'm sorry. Has the best chance of surviving a legal challenge. They also opened eligibility to free Black people who migrated to this country before the 20th century, given possible difficulties in documenting family history and the risk at the time of becoming enslaved. Others on the task force argued that reparations should include all Black people in the U.S. who suffer from systemic racism in housing, education, and employment, and said they were defining eligibility too soon in the process. Civil rights attorney and task force member Lisa Holder proposed directing economists working with the task force to use California's estimated 2.6 million Black residents to calculate compensation while they continue hearing from the public. Let me go down here. This committee is not even a year into its 2-year process, and there is no compensation plan of any kind on the table. Longtime advocates had spoken of the need for multifaceted remedies for related yet separate harms, such as slavery, Jim Crow laws, mass incarceration, and redevelopment that resulted in the displacement of Black communities. Compensation should include free college, assistance buying homes and launching businesses, and grants to churches and community organizations, advocates say. The eligibility question has dodged the task force since its inaugural meeting in June, when viewers called in pleading with the 9-member group to devise targeted proposals and cash payments to make whole the descendants of enslaved people in the U.S. So this is the part where I'm going to stop here. Chicago resident Arthur Ward called in to Tuesday's virtual meeting saying that he was a descendant of enslaved people and has family in California. He supports reparations based only on lineage and expressed frustration with the panel's concerns over Black immigrants who experience racism. When it comes to some sort of justice, some kind of recompense, we are supposed to step to the back of the line and allow Caribbeans and Africans to be prioritized. taking this long to decide something that should not even be a question in the first place is an insult. And JB, I'm going to pass the mic to you. I knew the immigrant question I knew that was going to come up.
Ask people who live in the U.S. Virgin Islands if they should get reparations or not. That's all I got to say. But yeah, so it is a step in the right direction. I don't know. This kind of seems like virtue signaling though a little bit. It's like, yeah, we're going to talk about it, but it's like, are they really going to push for it? Like, I mean, they couldn't even get single payer healthcare.
Right.
You know, and they had a super majority in California, in the California Assembly, and they couldn't even get it to a vote on the floor.
Right.
So my thing is that, yes, it's a step in the right direction, but I feel somewhat skeptical of their actions to do it. I want it to happen, but I feel like they're just doing it just to save face, to try to look more progressive. It's like they're talking about it, but the thing is that they always talk about it, but they don't really do it.
Right. And I just want to remind everyone that Gavin Newsom went through a recall last year. So just a reminder, because people in California wanted him to step down because he violated his own policy during the shutdown.
Yeah.
So it's just something to think about. Is this more of a political move for like his career per se? I don't know. I'll believe it when I see it. Right.
Yeah. 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 I agree. And for instance, this is one of the reasons why I love the people on our chat. Cryptician says reparations needs to include more than just a monetary compensation. It needs to include legal and institutional reforms and other forms of compensation in relation to those institutional abuses. I fully agree with that. And the thing is like, okay, you're going to do reparations. What are you going to do about the police? Right. What are you going to do about the LAPD? Because I don't want to get my reparations check and then get civil asset forfeiture from my reparations to the police. Because what if that happens?
Right.
Then what? Or what if you guys shoot me dead after I get my reparations check? Like, what? What if the landlords decide to increase our rent? Or what if the banks decide to exponentially increase our mortgage because they know we got those reparations?
Right.
What about our hospital bills? Are they going to be charging us exorbitant amounts like they are right now for our hospital bills? Simply because we got the reparations check? Are people suddenly going to raise their prices and then come into black neighborhoods and then price gouge us, knowing that we got our reparations? What are they going to do? See, the thing is that, like Cryptician said so eloquently, and thank you so much for that, by the way, is that it has to be a systemic change. Therefore, it has to be that coupled with the compensation, not just for slavery, but also Jim Crow, and also mass incarceration, and also the policing that they've been doing. Like, for instance, even up to this year, there are many people who are black that deserve reparations for the atrocities that they've suffered at the hands of, say, the LAPD. Are you going to include all that as well? Because if we're going to talk about it, then we're going to talk about it. And then on top of it, what about the people who are black and one side of them is Caribbean and the other side of them is from descendants of slaves? So are we going to exclude people like that? What if you're half Jamaican and your other half is a descendant of slaves? So does that preclude you from getting reparations? See, that's the thing. People aren't asking that question. This is why I
Right.
rolled my eyes at excluding Black immigrants, because they are also victims of systemic racism, because they were caught up in the crossfire that has been, pushed at us. So this is one of the reasons why I think that if you are a Black victim of American imperialism, reparations for you.
Yeah, it's interesting. I had this conversation with someone recently about Black immigrants, and the response I received is that they, particularly people from Haiti,
Mm-hmm.
the Caribbean, and I was told that they need to get reparations, or excuse me, I was told that France needs to pay reparations to them, not the United States. And I said, well, the United States government has also screwed those countries over economically because the United States has intervened in Haiti. That's why Haiti, one of the reasons why Haiti is so impoverished,
Yeah.
because it's not just France. Like, we went over there through regime change wars, and that's
Mm-hmm.
why they don't have that's why you see so many people from Haiti trying to leave, because
Mm-hmm.
it's impoverished, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of my take on that. But the point that JB made is a good one, because what happens if, like, your mom is Jamaican, she's from Jamaica, and your
Mm-hmm.
dad was born and raised here in the United States? Does that
Mm-hmm.
mean that that child doesn't qualify for reparations because
Yeah.
one parent is from Jamaica? Like,
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like, just give that to everybody. I will say that reparations would definitely close the racial wealth gap that we have in this country. To
Mm-hmm.
give people a perspective, in Boston,
Mm-hmm.
the net worth, and the Boston Globe did this study.
Mm-hmm.
They did a study about racism in Boston. And
Mm-hmm.
during this study, what they found is that Black families in Boston, their net worth was $8.
Yeah, I saw
And
that before. Yeah.
yeah, and white families in Boston, their net worth was 250K. And if you live here, you can see it, because it's true.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when you had white flight and the white families left the cities and moved out into the suburbs, the Black
Mm-hmm.
families were stuck in the urban areas because
Yeah.
of redlining, and they wouldn't let Black families into those suburban communities. When white people left the city,
Mm-hmm.
they took their money with them.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're funding public schools by property taxes, the schools that are in the inner city are going to be underfunded.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
this goes all the way back to the New Deal. And people
Yep.
wonder why I bring this up. It goes all the way back to the New Deal. And these
Mm-hmm.
were policies that FDR implemented. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
he did good things through the New Deal, but
Mm-hmm.
Black people were shut out from a lot of those policies. And a lot of people don't understand that. When even some of the union jobs, if you talk
Mm-hmm.
to people that were around back then, even
Mm-hmm.
with the union jobs, white people were paid more than Black people, even
Yep.
in the union jobs. So
Yep.
those policies did not help Black families, and they also didn't help Native Americans either.
Yep. And while we're at it, let's talk about the companies that existed back then. Did you know that it was illegal for Black people to have life insurance back then?
Mm,
So guess what? All that wealth that accumulated from people passing down their wealth, guess what? We couldn't do it. We couldn't pass down our houses to our kids. We couldn't do things like that back in the day. So there's a lot of accumulated wealth that has happened that we were completely boxed out of. So also reparations should be owed and paid from these companies too. I
yes.
say even to the point of ownership being given to these Black people, especially descendants of slaves. Because if you're going to sit there, because these corporations and these companies also need to be penalized for what they've done. While I'm at it, some of the subsidies for things like the railroads should be paid to Chinese immigrants and their families, because they were helping build our railroads. So some reparations should be paid to them too. Look, reparations isn't a either or issue. It's a just or unjust issue. Do you believe that reparations are just? Yes. Okay. So anybody and every single person that has ever been wronged by our government deserves some type of recompense whatsoever. Now, as far as people who I've descended from, yeah, definitely. But also, let's be real. What about people who are biracial? Because they were also victims of systemic racism. They are, right? They may have not had it as hard as some of us who are a little bit darker in complexion, but they were still victims nonetheless. So what are you going to say to people who are biracial? See what I mean? We have to have this conversation, you know? And what about Afro-Latinos, right? What about them? What about them being victims of systemic racism? What about the Puerto Ricans? Because people will be like, oh, well, they should get the reparations from Spain. Puerto Rico is a United States colony. Yeah, Puerto Rico, colonized them, but so did the United States. So, this is a big conversation that needs to be had. Because the thing is that if we're going to talk about the atrocities done to many different people, we got to talk about it all. And people will say, well, the United States can't afford that. Oh, we dumped $4 trillion into the stock market in 2020, in March of 2020, just to prop up the stock market so that billionaires' feelings won't get hurt. If we can do that, then we can definitely do reparations. Savvy?
A lot of these companies, they profited off of free labor.
Yeah.
And it's just interesting to me. People are just like, well, the United States government. I'm like, I think we need to look at some of these old school corporations that have been around for a long time and have been passed down throughout the family that profited from free labor. They have the money to pay for it.
Mm-hmm. They did. They had the money to pay for it at that time. And of course, the thing is that if you were to add interest on that, especially if it was compounding interest, yeah. To be honest with you, I don't even think they should own those companies anymore.
It's just crazy. So here's my take on this in reference to reparations, and I'm speaking specifically for Black people. Okay. I think that it can't just be a check. Yes, I think a check should definitely be a part of it, but some other things need to change, because what's going to happen is if you just give people a check, okay, that's great, but if you don't own anything, you see what I mean? Mm-hmm. It was supposed to be 40 acres and a mule. Obviously, it's not going to be a mule today, but you need to give people land and you need to give people property. Because if you just give people a check and just say, okay, go be on your way, what's going to happen? People who are in debt, like medical debt, student loan debt, that's probably the first place that money is going to end up going. And then you still own nothing. So you need to have land, you need to have property. That's important. If you don't own anything, this is what I was telling people about net worth. Income and net worth is different. Net worth is what you own minus what you owe. Yeah. Your income is what you earn. Net worth actually matters more. So that's my biggest fear. Like, I really think they need to give people land. They need to give people some type of property. But then also you have to change the system, the systemic problems that still exist. Like you said, with policing, that would have to change. The public education system needs to change. Because if I'm just thinking about how some of these suburban communities are in the United States, Black people get reparations. I honestly don't think some of those suburban communities, some of those realtors are going to let Black people move into those communities.
No, they're not.
Time and time again. They're not going to let a bunch of Black people move into those suburban communities. The first thing they're going to say is, oh, no, we don't have anything available.
Yeah. Oh, no, the Negroes are coming.
Exactly. Cory Booker knew about that because his parents went through the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's just, I think that's going to be a big issue. But that's why I say you have to change the system. You have to change those practices. You need to change it so that, I don't know if a lot of people know about this, But in real estate, if you're a black homeowner, do you know that your property value is decreased just because you are black? If you
Yep.
try to sell your house,
Yep.
you are going to get a less amount for your appraisal than someone who is white who lives next door to you and you can have the same house. Those things need to change. Policing needs to change. The public school system needs to change. So that's why I say don't just give people money. You need to give people money, but you also need to change all of those systemic issues. Now, in reference to like other people, when it comes to reparations, I can only speak for like the black experience. Like I know you mentioned like Puerto Ricans. I don't. None of my friends that are Puerto Rican are asking for reparations. Just got to put that out there. I know Delilah is indigenous. She's talked about reparations, but she also told me too. She said Native Americans are not asking for reparations. So she says when she talks about reparations, she's means specifically for African Americans. So I think that one of the things that we tend to do sometimes as black community, I would say, I think that sometimes we feel this need to always include other people with us when sometimes it's okay to just say, nah, this is just about us this time.
Yeah, that's true. And I fully agree. And I actually want to defer to a video that was shared by a friend to the channel Consciously. And I think you're going to find this very interesting. This actually came out a couple days ago, but I think it's apropos to the conversation. So this is something I think you'll be interested in watching. I don't think you saw this yet. So I'll see you on the other side.
Stitch this with a fact so ridiculous you didn't believe it until you looked it up yourself.
You might want to save this one in case this is the one that gets me in trouble. After Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation and free blacks were promised 40 acres and a mule, he then proceeded to pay slave owners reparations of up to $300 per slave that they lost, which in today's money equals $7,500 per slave to these families. Fun fact about me is I had time this morning and I love numbers. So how much would black people actually be owed in reparations today? Well, since they were promised 40 acres and a mule and that was not paid up front, that then becomes a loan. The average rate of 1 acre of land in the contiguous United States today goes for about $12,000. If you multiply that by 40 acres, you get a number of $480,000. Also, on a loan, there's this little thing called interest. And when the principal is not paid, this interest is added. Now, on a land loan today, on the high end, there is an annual interest rate of 5.65%. So I started with $480,000 and I added 5.65% and added 5.65% and proceeded to do this until I had done this 159 times, which is the amount of years since the signing of the Emancipation Proclamation. After I sat there and did that all that time, this is the number that I came up with. Now, in case you're confused by all of the commas, allow me to read that for you. That says $3,343,727,866.38
per person. Per person.
This is not including the mule, back pay from about 400 years of free labor, countless wrongful death suits, and emotional distress so atrocious that it actually altered the DNA of Black people and caused a genetic mutation that has been passed down through the mitochondrial DNA of African Americans for generations. You can look that up too. The United States doesn't have all this money, you say? Bullshit, because if you go back and actually tax the wealthy families who have benefited off of that, because it is common knowledge that free slave labor actually funded the Industrial Revolution, some of these companies that are still around today could pony up. Some of them are still around, and some of them you even have your money sitting in right now. Also, if you tax the churches back taxes for their part in this with the assimilation of African people, which set the stage for a lot of the oppression that Black people have suffered in this country until this very day, you'd have the money easy peasy. Any attorneys want to take the biggest class action lawsuit in human history before The Hague?
Your thoughts, Sabs?
I guess it's not surprising. I mean, it's just it's so much. I don't think people fully understand like what this country was like before slaves were brought to this country. Let's talk about rice. Slave owners didn't know how to grow rice. That's one of the reasons why they went to get slaves from Africa, was for food, for farming. Rice, especially down in Charleston, South Carolina, rice was one of the biggest money makers. There's rice and there's cotton. In South Carolina, it was rice. In North Carolina, it was cotton and tobacco. So they went to Africa and brought Africans over because in Africa, they knew how to do it. They knew how to grow it. They brought them over to do the work for them. Didn't pay them a dime. Broke up their families, took their children away from them, beat them, tortured them. If it were not for that, I don't think people really understand. This country would not have been, they built this country.
Yeah. The reason why the United States is a superpower is because of Black people. I gotta say it. It was land that was stolen from the indigenous, and it was built off the backs of Black people. In fact, the White House was built by Black people.
Yep.
The thing is that the GDP, the status of this nation being the richest country in the history of the world was built upon our ancestors, off the backs of our ancestors. I traced on my mother's side my great-grandfather all the way back to his birth in 1792. That was my fifth great-grandfather. He was born a slave. He died learning how to read and write because after he was freed. And guess what? He helped build up this country. Him and his wife helped build this country, including all of my ancestors through Jim Crow. Because guess what? The sharecroppers, guess what? They were gypped too. They deserve recompense from that too. And any family that had slaves, guess what? They benefited from that systemically. So, you know, and dare I say, people like J.P. Morgan and Andrew Carnegie, you know, and all those other super rich people who built America. They didn't build America. The people built America. And a lot of times it was those of us who actually built America. And then we're not even going to touch on the people in Cuba that were brought here in slaves, and you know they did in the sugar fields. And thing is, I think we had to do sugar here in Florida too.
Yep.
Sugar was a major commodity. Tobacco, sugar, rice, cotton.
Don't forget alcohol, because a lot of people don't know about this, but the two of the largest slave ports in this country was Charleston, South Carolina, and Rhode Island. And a lot of people don't know about Rhode Island. Rhode Island has a shameful history about slavery. They don't like to talk about it much. Trust, they're right next door to me. I know. They don't like to mention that much, but they have a very shameful history about slavery, and their product was alcohol.
Yeah.
So they use slaves for that. But what a lot of people don't realize is that these northern states were just as guilty. A lot of times it's blamed just on the South, but there were slaves in the North too. And sometimes people will tell you, oh, they weren't really slaves. They were more like indentured servants. Fuck that. They weren't paid for this labor. So I just wanted to point that out because a lot of people do not know about Rhode Island. And there was a woman, she was on Oprah Winfrey's show. This is going way back. You can probably still find this clip on YouTube. She was the daughter of a slave. This woman was like 90 something years old or something like that, like on Oprah. And the slave owners' children, or not the children, but going down the line, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
The family came on the show and apologized.
Mhm.
And that was the first time that I heard that Rhode Island was also complicit in slavery. They were number 2, by the way. And at one point before, I think it was before 17, I have to look up the dates. I did a whole show about this. I think it was before 17 something, I forget. At one point, they were bringing in the most slaves. They were the largest transporter of slaves in this country. And the fact that a lot of us went through school and they never mentioned that and they only focused on the South is very telling.
Yeah. Because slavery was everywhere. It
Yep.
wasn't just in the South. The thing is that the North probably stopped doing slavery a little sooner, but they still did it. And somebody brought up a good point as well in the chat. I just want to bring this up. People also need compensation for the experimentation that was done to Black people, especially slaves, and back in the day. Are we going to get recompense and reparations for the Tuskegee experiments? For when they were injecting some of our ancestors with syphilis?
Yep.
And seeing what was going on? Are we going to get recompense for that too? Look at what Henrietta Lacks went through. So the thing is that we also deserve recompense for that too. Because a lot of the scientific achievements, because guess what? Gynecology was built on Black women, and they were actually tested on without any anesthetic.
Yep.
Black women. So every single time, and this is, I don't want to say this as a man because it's not really my place, but I just want you to realize that the study of gynecology was built on Black women.
And it wasn't the instruments that they use today. I'm not gonna show you what it looks like because it's barbaric, but it wasn't the instruments that they use today.
Yeah. So our great grandmothers, some of them were subject to horrors. And some of our ancestors were sterilized. So yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for that comment, Black Magic. Thank you so much. So yeah. Anything else that you wanted to add to the story, Savvy?
Well, I'm glad she mentioned Henrietta Lacks because they owe a lot of money to her family.
Yeah.
And had it not been for that book, I mean, how many of us would have known about her story?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just they used her. For people who don't know, they used her cells.
Mm-hmm.
Profited in the medical industry. Her family did not receive any compensation for the fact that they took her cells. And she died. So there's a lot that we can go through here, but it's just that there's a lot of things I think that people don't know that happened to like slaves in this country, that happened during Jim Crow. And I'm not talking about just the things that they taught us in like history class. There's a lot that has happened. And even if you didn't live in the South, so you weren't under the Jim Crow laws per se, you were still affected if you were a Black person living in this country. And that's what I want people to understand. Like, Black people couldn't even travel freely from state to state in this country without taking secret roads. There was a book called The Green Book. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you guys have seen the movie, but there was a book that basically was a guide for Black travelers to let them know which roads to take if they were traveling from state to state so that they wouldn't be targeted by the police.
Mm-hmm.
So to have to deal with that through generations and generations, and then here we are today, and the poverty situation is worse. The schools are worse. Like
Yeah.
the income levels are worse.
Yeah.
I mean, something needs to change.
Yeah. There's a lot, and I actually like what she talked about the church, because our religion was stripped from us, our belief system, our names. Like, how many of us know what the names of our ancestors were when they first came here? We have no idea. And by the way, I just want to say this: Black culture in the United States is the only culture that does not have any origins from its original country. Maybe
Yeah.
we carried some things over, maybe, but a lot of it originated here because we had to create our own culture.
Even soul food originated here
Yeah.
because they would give slaves the scraps. Like they wouldn't give like slaves the good food. They would
Mm-hmm.
take the good food and they would give slaves the scraps. And that's where
Yeah.
soul food came from.
Yep.
Africans didn't get to keep their language when they came here either. They didn't
Mm-hmm.
get to keep their name.
Yeah.
Remember, they also got rid of their birthdays. So some people didn't know, how old they were. And they took everything from them.
Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, if you love barbecue, thank Black people, because they originated barbecue. Because we were given the scraps, we were giving the tough cuts of meat, so we had to make it edible somehow. And guess what? We got barbecue. So yeah,
Yep.
And yeah, this is interesting. Yeah, I think it was George Washington. His teeth weren't made of wood, people. His teeth were made of the teeth of other slaves. So
Yep.
yeah. So yeah, it's just, there's a lot to be said about uh, giving restitution for the atrocities, and I say that with the full definition: atrocities that were committed against Black people in this country, even down to today. By the way, reparations also needs to include the ratification of the 13th Amendment,
Yep.
because it still allows for slavery in the 13th Amendment. Don't believe me? Look at it. And look at that one little sentence that says "except." That also needs to be changed.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot, man. There's a lot. And there's some more atrocities that I just can't touch on right now that will make your stomach turn. But guess what? And even now they're starting to study within the mitochondrial DNA that trauma has actually came through. And like I said before, Dr. I forgot her name, but Joyce DeGroy, I think her name is. She gave a speech on post-traumatic slave syndrome, about how
Mm-hmm.
the trauma that Black people have endured has been passed down from generation to generation. And if you don't think that actually affected our DNA, look again.
Yep.
So yeah. Also, compensation for Black men who fought in the Second World War, and the Korean War, which my grandfather was a veteran. He fought in the Korean War. So, but yeah, so that was our first story for today. Sabs, what would you like to go with next?
So this just broke actually.
Okay.
And this is coming from the state of Maryland, which is where I was born. crab cakes and all.
Ooh, crab
Let me share
cakes.
this. See, you can tell I'm
Crab
hungry. You can tell I'm hungry.
cakes.
I'm just thinking about food. Okay, let
Yeah.
me share the screen. So this is interesting news, you guys. So Maryland approves bill to expand access to abortions. So here we go. In the most sweeping change to Maryland's abortion law in 3 decades, state lawmakers passed a bill Tuesday that would dramatically expand who could perform abortions and forbid most insurers from charging patients out-of-pocket costs for the procedure. So let me go down here. The abortion access legislation passed by Democrats on a party line vote is one of a handful of contentious bills General Assembly leaders suspect might provoke a veto from Governor Larry Hogan. By the way, he's awful. For those of you who don't know, the Democratic controlled legislature is rushing its priorities on abortion, climate change, paid family leave, and gun control, among others, to Hogan's desk by Friday, so they would have time to override him before they are required to adjourn April 11th. So this is coming up soon. With an election in November, it marks Democrats' only opportunity to override the governor's policies choices. The abortion debate consumed hours of emotional testimony from lawmakers over the past few weeks, with Democrats hoping to lift old political restrictions on the procedure and Republicans in the minority eager to roll back some of the nation's broadest abortion laws. Democrats prevailed by a veto-proof majority. It makes sure that everybody has equal access to care. We are treating abortion care just like we treat all other health care. We're applying the same rules to abortion that we do to other health care. The measure comes as state lawmakers across the country address the uncertainty of abortion care in the United States if the Supreme Court decides to roll back the landmark Roe v. Wade case. Maryland currently only allows physicians to perform abortions. A restriction abortion advocates said left 2/3 of the state's counties without a single abortion provider. The bill would let physician assistants, midwives, nurse practitioners, as well as other properly trained medical providers perform the procedure as 14 other states do. It would also set aside $3.5 million to train providers who have attended medical school in other states that do not offer such education. And it would force insurance companies to cover the procedure without co-pays or deductibles, reducing the expense for women. JB.
So I have a very limited opinion on this because I do not have a womb and I don't have a vagina. So, with that being said, this is a good thing. Okay? I do think it's a good thing because I think that women need access to safe abortions. Now, somebody can ask me how I feel about abortions. That doesn't matter. Abortions are going to happen anyway. But whether or not women have them safe and are able to still live after it, that's what matters, right? I can give my opinion all I want, but the thing is that are they still surviving the procedure? If they're not, then we have to make sure they survive the procedure. And it's just like when people talk about, and I'm not equating this, I'm just using this as an example. When people who don't agree with other people using drugs, but then they're okay with the distribution of clean needles so that people don't get HIV. You know they're going to do drugs anyway. So therefore, you might as well make it so that less people die. Same thing with abortions. Even if you don't agree with abortion, at least agree with it being safe so that people don't die. Also, on top of it, we men, those of us with phallus and testicles, why do we get a say? Do we want women to have a complete say over what goes on below our pants? Do we want less body autonomy for us? No? All right. Then don't do it to women. That's all I got to say. It's a
Well
good thing.
said, JB. Well said, JP.
I defer to the woman.
I want to highlight the super chat. Thanks for the super chat, Venus. Support your intelligent, independent news like Revolutionary Blackout Network. Thanks so much, Venus. That's really sweet.
Good to see you, Venus.
Yeah. They have until April 11th. Considering who Larry Hogan is, like he's a trip. He probably will try to veto it, but they said that if they get it back before April 11th, then they can override it. So that's probably what's going to happen. I don't see him approving this. Just knowing how ridiculous he is, I don't see him approving this, but then they can get it back and override it. The big thing here too to think about is that's a part of this bill is they're making the insurance companies cover the cost, right? And I've known people who wanted to have an abortion, but they couldn't afford it. Or they wanted to have an abortion, but there was no, because we were in the South at the time, in South Carolina, there's all these different rules. And then it has to be a practitioner and they don't have a practitioner. So then they have to go to Atlanta to get an abortion. Like, I've just seen this play out so many different times. And what they've done is they've made it more difficult for women to have abortions in this country. And I think that actually makes it less safe. Just like JB was saying, like you're making it more difficult. So it makes it less safe for the woman. But for them, like to not have to pay the copay and have the insurance companies cover everything, that's huge. Like if this goes through, that's a big deal.
Yeah. And look, I think that, like for instance, like I said earlier today on Twitter, I believe in full nationalization, and which would cover all that. You wouldn't have to worry about insurance and insurance companies covering it or not, because insurance companies would cease to exist. But while they're here, make their ass pay. Make them pay for it. Because the thing is that too many women over the years have died in trying to exercise their right over their own body. And it just sickens me, so yeah. I'm really not going to give too many long takes on this because it's not like Bryce said, it's not really my fight. I just support the women in this. So
yeah, it's one of those things, the cost issue affects a lot of women, especially Black women, other women of color, lower income, working class. Like that's a big factor, right? So if people can't afford it, it's really interesting to me because people used to make these statements that people shouldn't be allowed to have. Yeah. So Steph just cost is an issue. That's why we need to keep Planned Parenthood a viable option. Yeah, some people just can't afford it. It's not cheap to get an abortion. But I think the thing is what's interesting to me is some people will say that they're against abortion because they're pro-life. But then those same people will turn around and say, well, no, they don't think that single mother should be able to get any type of assistance from the United States government to take care of her child. So if you're pro-life, that's the entire duration of the child's life. So there's a difference between being pro-life and being pro-birth. To me, it just doesn't make any sense. If you know that financially you cannot afford to have a child, and some people will come back and say, well, put the child up for adoption. You still have to pay for medical expenses the full 9 months that you're pregnant. And not everybody can afford to do that, especially if you don't have health insurance. Adoption is not as easy as people make it sound. I've known 3 people in my life that were adopted, and they have not had it easy. It's not as easy as people make it sound. Oh, just put that kid up for adoption. No biggie. Like, I think that has to be very difficult for a mother to go through because at the same time, your child is out there somewhere, but you couldn't give them the life that you felt they deserved. So you gave them to another family, but you always know that your child is out there. And that's just my take on it. I think there's a big difference between being pro-life and pro-birth.
Yeah. Yeah, because, I mean, look, it's a very authoritarian thing to take someone's body autonomy away from them. Men, look, okay. I'm going to get a little risque here. All right? So be prepared. I'm going to keep it as clean as possible because I do not want us to get demonetized. Okay? But, men, when you're having your private time, okay, do you want somebody dictating you what you do with yourself during your private time? I made it weird on purpose. Do you want somebody to dictate to you what you do? Because I don't want somebody dictating to me what I do. No, 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 no. Let's keep that same energy when it comes to our womb-possessing family members and friends. Let's keep that same energy, right? Now, you can say that it's a moral choice and you don't approve of it. Then don't have an abortion.
Right.
Then you don't have one. And that's okay. You cannot agree to drink alcohol. Don't drink it. Don't go to the liquor store. It's okay. You can make that choice for yourself. I thought you guys were all about personal responsibility and personal choice. Why are you making the choices for other people? So, especially you men, keep that same energy. Boop. I'm done.
I was gonna say there's something you mentioned, shoot balls. Oh, JB was the second example you gave.
About drinking alcohol?
Yes. Remember what happened during Prohibition? Remember they tried to outlaw alcohol. How well did that work out? All because they believed that it wasn't right, that it was bad, right?
Yep.
So they wanted to stop everybody from.
Mm-hmm. And where do you think we got NASCAR from, huh? What do you think we got NASCAR from? They literally souped up their cars to outrun the cops because they were having that corn liquor and they were trying to escape Prohibition. You're very welcome. NASCAR brought to you by Budweiser. Guess what? So, I'm just saying, all right? Body autonomy is a really, really, precious thing. Because if you do one thing, then guess what? It's going to be a slippery slope. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's just so funny. It's really silly now looking back, thinking about it, that a couple of people didn't think that alcohol was a good thing. So they said, let's just outlaw it for everyone instead of them just choosing not to partake in alcohol. It's so silly. Oh my God.
These people are so far to the right that they outflank the Bible to the right. They outflank the Bible to the right. That's crazy. How in the hell are you going to outflank the Bible to the right? By the way, one scripture says is that wine makes the heart of mortal man rejoice, by the way. So guess what? You think you're more holier than God? Oh, you right-wingers, you think you're more holier than God, so you're going to outlaw alcohol? I think y'all need to read it again.
It just doesn't make any sense. When I tell you guys the United States is a conservative country, believe me.
Mm-hmm.
Who else was doing this? Did you know there's still dry towns in the United States today?
They need to moisten up.
There still are, like, we have, like, when it comes to, like, alcohol, we have such strict restrictions when you look at other countries, right? Like, there's the age requirement, and
Yeah.
then even in some towns, like, you can't buy alcohol on Sundays, or it has to be after like noon on Sunday. I don't know why.
It's so
Um,
stupid.
it's really weird to me. It's like there's still some of
Yeah.
those old like blue laws that are still intact in some of these states. But at the same time, my husband always brought this up. So you can go to a bar Sunday night and get drunk till 2 o'clock in the morning and drive home, but you can't go to the liquor store and buy a 4-pack and bring it home and drink at your house. There are some like the alcohol rules and restrictions we have in the United States. It is ridiculous.
And here's the crazy part. You're okay. I think the drinking age in France, I don't think they have a drinking age because I think kids can drink wine. But even still, there are certain countries that are like, oh, you can't drink, beyond the age of 15 or 16. And some people consider that crazy. They're like, oh my God. And I'm like, okay, but yet your child gets sick with the cold and you're willing to give them NyQuil?
Right?
Make that make sense. Because you can't give NyQuil to anybody under the age of 12, but once you're over the age of 12, all systems go. You can give them a dose of NyQuil. Wait, make that make sense. By the way, while we're at it, it's crazy how you can overdose on alcohol, but you can't overdose on cannabis.
Right?
And yet they treat alcohol as more safer than cannabis.
That's true.
Ass backwards. It's crazy. Like, look, you have to laugh at it. Like, look, you have to laugh at this because there is zero empirical evidence against cannabis and overdosing. And yet you have foundations like Mad Mothers Against Drunk Driving that advocates against, kids, especially drinking alcohol. And you can die from alcohol poisoning. You can get into an accident. And it's like, why is this thing, alcohol, a drug, by the way, considered less dangerous than cannabis when the odds of dying from cannabis are infinitely lower? In fact, cannabis is safer than OxyContin. Cannabis is safer than Xanax.
Than a lot of prescription drugs, to be honest.
Did I just blow your mind? Didn't I blow your mind this time? Didn't I? Oh, baby. Let me tell you. I'm sorry, Sabs. I had some caffeine, another drug, earlier today. So yeah, but it's crazy how people want to talk about, they always want to, prohibit body autonomy, but then they always go in the ass backwards way, and then you're just like, wait a minute, what?
Yep.
It's just like if you're going to be pro-life, then be pro-life, right? Free education, grade K, pre-K to 16. See what I did there? Make sure college is tuition free. If you are pro-life, then guess what? You should be anti-imperialist. If you're truly pro-life, be anti-imperialist. If you are truly pro-life, then you should be advocating for a thriving wage so that families can stay home, so they can be around their kids. If you are pro-life, then you should be advocating for a full nationalization of the healthcare industry, because people should not have a financial barrier between them and getting the healthcare that they need. If you are truly pro-life.
Yep.
This is why we talk about these things, because there is holes in the logic of a lot of these things. And people are constantly suffering at the hands because They don't think through these things. If you're going to dictate these things, then make sure that you do it all. Cover all the bases. Make sure that kids always have something to eat. If you're truly pro-life, then everyone should have a right to food. SNAP benefits shouldn't be cut, they should be increased. Housing should be universal and nobody should be homeless if you're truly pro-life.
Yeah.
If you are pro-life, then be pro-life. Be it. Don't be no half-ass part-time pro-lifer. All right? If you're going to truly do that, then be one. If not, several seats.
And if you're pro-life, how are you going to be for the death penalty? That one I never understood. I never got that. I'm like, hold up, wait a minute. Back up the truck.
Savvy has a point. Savvy has a point. Mic drop, Savvy. Right? Because the thing is, what if that person was innocent?
Which has happened.
Oh,
It just happened.
God forbid they're actually innocent, and then you look up the DNA, and then you find out that that person actually wasn't the perpetrator of what actually they were convicted for. You just killed an innocent person.
14-year-old black boy in South Carolina. This was many decades ago. I think was the youngest person to receive the death penalty in South Carolina. 14 years old. He was innocent.
14 years old. Imagine having your life stripped away from you. And then they think you deserve to die, even though you're an innocent person. Imagine being the parent of that little boy.
Yep.
Was the boy black?
Yep. 14 years old. I'll see if I can pull up the picture.
How did I know to ask that question? Ask yourself, how did I know to ask that question?
Yeah.
And you know what? I already assumed it was, but just to not look like an ass, I just asked the question.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember this. I'll share my screen. His name was George Stinney Jr. Let me share it now. I forget how I found out about this. I might have been researching something and this came up somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It took 10 minutes to convict 14-year-old George Stinney Jr. It took 70 years after his execution to exonerate him. 70 years later, they exonerated him.
That's a baby.
It didn't matter. He was already dead.
That's a
14
baby.
years old.
That's a baby.
This was in 1944.
That's a baby.
Mm-hmm.
He is 7 years older than my mother. That's it. Yeah. He's 2 years from, he would have been 2 years from 80 this year.
Mm-hmm.
Old enough to be some of y'all's parents or grandparents. And his life was taken away from him at only 14 years old. I'm sorry, you said it happened in 44?
1944.
Okay, so I'm sorry. I got his age wrong. So that means he was born in 1930. So yeah, he'd probably be a little bit older than my grandmother then. Still. He could still be alive to this day. You know?
Yep.
And who knows? He probably could have been somebody really great, famous. Somebody who could have changed lives. Every single time a life is snuffed out early, just think about the potential of what that life could have been.
And again, that's something I stumbled upon on my own a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't taught about him in history school.
No, neither was I.
Mm-mm.
Neither was I. Neither was I wasn't taught about gosh, what was his name? He was killed for presumably whistling at a white woman.
Oh, Emmett Till.
Emmett Till, yeah.
Yep.
Sorry, I was blanking on the name. But we were never taught about Emmett Till back in school. Never taught about that. So
this
yeah,
is why we tell people you got to do your own research.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And those of you who have kids, especially in their history class, find out what they're learning. Find out what they're learning, and nip that in the bud immediately. Because a lot of times, history class is the first stage of propaganda. Not saying that everything they're being taught is completely inaccurate, but there's a lot of inaccuracies and half-truths that get told in social studies as well as history classes from elementary school all the way down to high school and including in college.
Yep.
So make sure.
Yep. I wonder for people in the chat, I'm curious if you do have kids that are in school right now, are they still teaching kids that Columbus discovered America? I'm just curious.
Yeah, please.
Just curious.
Yeah, that's actually a good question. Because that asshole ain't discovered none.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So just let us know. And I guess we're coming up on our final story, Subs.
That's you, JB.
That's all me, baby. All right, come on in, baby. Okay, Zach Curtis says, I'm pleasantly surprised with my Seattle public education. No savvy.
All right, shout out.
All right, thank you so much. Okay. All right. So, oh boy. How do I even start this?
I don't know, but I'm getting hungry, so let's go.
Hurry up, JB. I'm getting hungry now. All right.
I have tacos in there.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Seth. Okay. Mrs. Waters. Mrs. Waters. And I ain't even gonna say nothing. I'm just gonna let y'all watch. Y'all just gonna have to look at this. And then I'll catch y'all on the other side. Shout out to Joey Reck, one of my comrades. Let's go. Let's do this like Brutus.
Did they move another location where they're taking abs? Is there any more locations than this one?
No, it might have been just so many people out here.
1 minute. I want everybody to go home. And we don't got no home.
By the way, they're homeless. She just told them to go home and they're homeless. They're homeless. And she told them to go home. Savvy.
Not Miss Civil Rights Advocate Maxine Waters.
Savvy. Savvy, tell your auntie to take several seats, please.
She's not related to me. I don't claim her.
Tell auntie to sit down. Please. Mrs. Waters. Mrs. Waters. Ma'am. Are you serious right now? Are you serious? By the way, as I continue the video, wait, there's more. I'm gonna show y'all on the other side. She's gonna get pissed off. Watch. I kid y'all not. Watch. She's gonna get pissed off. Just listen.
That's why we here. Miss Miss Waters, keep on. We gonna go too. Just a moment. Just a moment. Nothing is going to happen here today. Nothing is going to happen anymore today.
So what about
But
all these names?
what we're gonna, well, that's what give me.
Well, then you leave
Excuse me. That's why I'm here. And so I will be downtown with Lassa. I will get the housing authority. That's why they came out here today. I made them come out here. And I'm gonna go.
And you need to know why they're failing, because Blanca Jimenez repeated, we gave her several meeting requests for you concerning this in Lassa for years. And now
Excuse
that's
me, there's nobody in Washington who works for their people in harder than I do.
I believe you.
I don't want to hear that.
I believe you. So can we finish though?
No.
That's some Nancy Pelosi energy right there. We feed them. We feed them. Now, Maxine Waters is saying, we house them. Ma'am.
Work with me.
No.
Work with me so we can house people. That's what
I
I
do every day.
What you do every day? I'm still on the damn
the
street.
money that you got
She's sitting here, she doesn't cash it out.
in Washington, D.C. I will continue to work. I will get it. I know more about you today.
They would never know about that.
There were never any vouchers. There were never any vouchers. So what's she talking about? Y'all see when she got mad? Savvy. She got mad. She got called out and she got mad.
See, this is why. What district is Maxine? She's in California.
Yeah. I think it's in Los Angeles.
Oh my God. You know how many homeless people are in LA?
Oh yeah.
How in the world? It just, how do you have Hollywood down the street, billion-dollar businesses? You have all these celebrities making $20 million for a film. They can send their money abroad to help people in Ukraine, but you don't see them try to help the people in their own damn city. The homeless people. How the hell can you have Rodeo Drive? You have Warner Brothers Studios, and you have all these homeless people, and they don't even try to help the fucking. It's disgusting. Whoa.
CJ would like a word. Hey, Rome, good to see you, man.
What's going on? I saw y'all. I was running. You know, I'm supposed to be in Florida tomorrow, but I was running around getting everything tied on my ends and dotting on my I's so I can have everything ready. But it's good to see y'all actually doing your job.
We're doing more of our job than Mrs. Waters is doing hers. Trust me, believe that.
Oh yeah, you ain't telling the homeless people to go home, is you?
Yeah, she telling them go home. And guess what? I'm gonna tell you this right now. CJ would like a word.
Mm-hmm.
Rome would like a word. Because Rome, weren't you out there just a few weeks ago?
Yeah.
You were on Skid Row.
Yep, Skid Row, and I had to cuss out somebody from talking just like these Democrats to these people, talking down on these people. Because I know, you know, as a person that has been homeless most of my adult life, how it is. And, you know, these people say, oh, well, this is a choice. That is a choice. You know what? At a certain level, it is a choice because I have the choice of living on Skid Row or going off and dying off in the middle of California. Because where Skid Row is at is actually people out there helping them. So, yes, I do have a choice. I have a choice between crime and poverty. I have a choice between this or nothing. So I have a choice, yes. But it's not really a big choice like you guys have. You know, you make the choice of getting up or calling off of work. You know what I'm saying? Skipping out on a bill, skipping out on a dinner. That's not a choice for people like us. That's just reality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just like death by fire or death by drowning. I gave you a choice.
Yep.
You got a choice. What are you talking about? You either die one way or die another. Go ahead, choose.
Yep.
Is that really a choice?
Yeah.
And then you get your the finger wag if you choose a third option.
Yep.
Right.
Like build your own party, or build your own. Like I was talking to this group of homeless people out there at this one shelter I usually go and take care of, and they was talking about joining me and stuff like that. I was telling them, like, you know, I'm not some nice guy out here. I'm just doing this to, you know, open up minds and hands so we can have a malicious party. But if you don't want that type of thing, y'all could start a party for homeless people. You know what I'm saying? We can help. I can help y'all unionize it or LLC it. We can pay for it and shit like that. That way you have some protection, and y'all have an organization full of homeless people who can actually negotiate with these shelters and whatnot. But yeah, it's like it's so much that we could do, but it's so much that we leave out. We leave these people out for reasons. You know what I'm saying? Like they can't do much for society anymore. Society has gotten what they could out of these people. Because when I'm talking to homeless people, it's not just homeless people. These are ex-veterans, you know what I'm saying? Doctors, nurses, people that was rich before, people that was been poor their whole life. They have been somebody. And the past life is like, holy fuck, how did you get here? So
there was
it sucks.
There was a gentleman that they found that was an architect. And you can actually see, you know, how talented he was by how he built his own little tiny house on the street. I think that was out in Skid Row. And it's just like it was 2 floors.
Yeah.
2 floors. And you were like, how did you do this? He goes, well, I used to be an architect. How does somebody like that get out there? Shit happens.
I met a banker from 2000. I met an ex-rich banker. He was rich in 2006, 7, and as soon as 2008 and 9 hit, first it went from pawning off certain things, then it went from selling parts of his property till he don't have a home at all.
Yeah.
And this will always remind people, even some of my wealthy friends, like, you know, don't, you know what I'm saying, that they got that hearty heart laugh. They got that, oh, I'm rich laugh. Like, don't feel too sure. You know what I'm saying? Because you can be them.
Yeah.
You can be them because one day they were you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, let me ask you both a question, and people in the chat, if you guys can answer this too. Have you guys ever seen the movie Fun with Dick and Jane?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That movie said so much about wealth inequality in corporations, right?
Yeah. And how corporations have set you up to be the fall guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, the movie is hilarious. It is hilarious.
I'm sorry, I'm looking for my cigarettes.
No, it's all good. But I think you would still get a lot of socially conscious meaning out of it. It's with Jim Carrey in it. It's a really funny movie. But if you guys have not watched Fun with Dick and Jane, watch it. Because the thing is that it shows, and I'm not going to give away the movie, but there's a part where they are pretty much solidly middle class, and then things go.
Man, let's keep it real. He dropped a whole new lawn. He was rich, my brother. He was rich.
Yeah.
He bought a big house.
Yeah, he was.
And he had a room for his nanny.
He was rich. He was at least upper middle class, but it was, you know, I mean, and he had that Beamer too.
It can happen to any. It can happen to anyone. You know, and sometimes people don't see it like that, right? But I mean, look at what happened to MC Hammer. Remember, he was like all up at the top, and he had all that money, and then he got broke.
MC Hammer, Mike Tyson. It's a lot of artists out here, a lot of rappers, artists. You know, once they feel like you're not fit for this role anymore, once they feel like you're not a part of Hollywood, the Hollywood elites, once they feel like you're not doing enough, they will push you away. Once you're acting, stop being top tier, they push you away. Once once your rapping isn't up to date with these new mumble rappers or whatever is hot nowadays, they push you away. You have done enough for society. We got the money that we could get out of you. Get the fuck on so we can replace you with somebody else, somebody younger, that we can actually, somebody younger and dumber that doesn't know the game that we can play. And by the time you come around them, they looking like you telling them, oh, watch out for the game, young blood, watch out for the game because it's a crooked game, blah, 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 this and that. You a homeless guy on the streets. This nigga ain't listening to you, not knowing that he was just you a couple of fucking years ago.
Yeah,
but you ain't even gonna listen to him.
I was gonna say too, there's a movie I just saw on Netflix. I highly recommend you watch it. It's called Sorry for Bothering You.
Oh yes, yeah. Sorry to bother you.
Sorry to bother you. Yes. It has the guy Lakeith. He was
Lakeith Stanfield.
Lakeith Stanfield. He was in Get Out. He's been in a lot of stuff recently. But anyway, Sorry to Bother You. You should definitely watch it because it's the theme of the movie is about capitalism, and the director of the movie is a communist. Because I looked up the director after we saw the movie. Yeah, if you look up the director, who produced and directed the movie, I was curious after I finished it because I was like, oh, this movie was basically calling out capitalism. And I looked him up and he identifies as a communist.
Damn, I didn't even know that. I unplugged from so much shit. Like I haven't watched TV in so many years. Holy fuck! But I'm gonna try to catch that. You say it's called Sorry to Bother You, right?
Yeah, Sorry.
It's a good movie. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was directed by.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. It was directed by Boots Riley.
There you go.
All right.
It's a little trippy, Rome, so don't smoke before you watch it.
I am. I smoke before I do every damn thing. I smoke before I smoke. Shit, I smoke a joint before I smoke a blunt. Shit.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
It's healthy. But yeah, people, y'all gotta watch out. You know what? And shit can come your way so fast in a hurry because, I didn't turn down. I turned down $1 million before. I turned down $1 million from some organization I shouldn't probably say. I turned down $1 million from Fox. Money will come to you. It will come to you, but then you gotta look at the money and what is it attached to. If I was to take $1 million, then I wouldn't be myself. Of course, I can't scream death to America. Of course, I can't scream, we want to nationalize the electric grids and shit like that. Money will come, but it will come at a price.
Right.
It will come at a price.
Yo.
Oh yeah, people wanted me to sell out, man. People wanted me to sell out so much. Like I done seen $1 million check. I seen $1 million in cash, and I seen $1 million check. And if that shit couldn't change me then, if I didn't sell out then, I doubt that I ever will. But I'm a human.
Okay.
We all got our prices. Maybe if they would have dropped 10 billion in front of me.
I'm just gonna show them the picture. I'm just gonna show them the picture, JB, and then I'm.
Oh, okay, but I'm looking at his discography.
Boots Riley.
Yeah, one of the first. I think this is a song. Yeah, it's an album called "Kill My Landlord." Yo! What? That came out in '93. What?
And that sound like a dope ass movie to me.
That's a song. That's an album.
Oh. Somebody said that's hardcore, wrong. Yeah, hey, look, I'm telling y'all, depending on how you move, depending on how you say certain things, like when I was an influencer for Bernie, influencer and stuff like that, people see that you can, pull in money, you know how to professionally bag for money. Professionally bag for money. What do I mean by that? Tour for the poor. You can get people to donate to you. You can get people to listen to you. You can get people to tune in to you. I had videos going viral back to back to back to back. So yeah, people saw that and it was like, okay, It's either we can shut him up and get him on our side with a little money, or we can pop him and keep his ass, you know what I'm saying, underground. I then took the money. My first ban had came. That's when they started banning me for real. But if I would have took some money from the DNC, if I would have took some money from Fox News, I'm pretty sure I would have had a blue check by now.
Yeah.
I gotta head out, JB, in Rome.
Okay. All right,
It's
Savvy.
taco time.
Yep. Who are you having on tomorrow night?
Tomorrow, I'm doing news on here at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then I'll be on my channel at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Ted Glick is coming on. He goes way back. He was progressive before it was cool to be progressive. He ran as a third-party candidate for New Jersey Senate. He's an activist. Like he's done a lot on the activism side. But anyway, long story short, at one point in time, he really tried to get something going with third party in this country. So I really want to talk to him about that and find out what happened. We'll get into that discussion, and then the call-in portion will start at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
All right. Have some great tacos.
Their dog is leaving, so you know what that means.
Taco night. Taco night. Savvy's having a taco night. All right.
Oh man.
Yo, you looking holy in that white, bro.
Yeah, I just got a new white hoodie, man, because my other one had fucked up. My kids fucked up. But look at these shoes though.
Ooh, Daddy got a new pair of shoes.
You know my feet stay fresh.
Oh yes. Your feet are fresher than produce, baby.
Man, I'm glad that you're feeling better from dialysis earlier from when I talked to you, man. Because
yesterday, yeah.
I know, like you going through it, man. And see, my brother, he was going through the same shit. He didn't have to go to dialysis or nothing like that, but he just beat diabetes, but he's still having seizures.
Oh man,
and I don't get it. Like he's healthy, he's back running. He's off of insulin, he gained some weight from what he had lost, and he's still having seizures. So just giving y'all a heads up, man. Like just because you are getting well from your sickness doesn't mean that you are all the way there. You know what I'm saying? Like you can be almost anything and die from some little shit, man. And to see my brother have continuously have seizures, man, month after month, it's heartbreaking. And I don't want to see you go through that. I want to see you well. You know what I'm saying? I want to see you strong. You know, I don't know what's going on with this nigga. I don't know what's going on with you, but I wish the best for both of you guys. I don't want to see you.
Thank you.
Down, man. Because every time I hear your voice, you talk, oh man, I'm fucked up. My brain not working. I can only imagine. You know, what you actually go through.
One things that it makes it exhausting. Okay, so I also suffer from chronic fatigue because dialysis wipes you out. And it was hard for me to even get started, doing what I needed to do today because that fatigue carries over into the next day. Just to let you know, by the way, tomorrow I'm gonna be wiped out because I have dialysis tomorrow. So just to let you know.
Atheist.
Yeah, but it also my brain gets foggy. So it's hard for me to even articulate what I really want to say. You guys have seen it before here on Revolutionary Blackout, where I have trouble trying to think of the words that I want to say. So it definitely affects me. So, if you guys know of somebody that's going through that, just be patient with them, because it's a lot, man. Chronic illness is no joke, and it not only exhausts you physically but mentally as well. So,
have patience for your people, even if they're not your favorite cousin, your favorite brother. Y'all might not get along. Have patience, man, because like when we was explaining the homeless situation, this can be you also. We don't know what's gonna hit us. Like I know I have been smoking since I was fucking 13 years old. If I was to just stop smoking cold turkey, cancer would more than likely catch up with me. So just because I'm healthy right now, I'm cut and I'm young and I'm running and I'm lifting weights, that don't mean that an illness can't hit me just as fast as it hit JB. I'm not that much younger than JB.
Mm-hmm.
So
well, significantly younger. But I look damn good for my age, baby.
how old are you? Because you can't be older than my brother.
I'm 37, bro.
Oh yeah, you older than my brother. But
yeah.
A year. Gabe, hold on. No,
I'm about to be 38.
How old are you, nigga?
I'm about to be 38.
All right. Yeah, y'all the same age. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it was something, but he'd be 38 in July.
Yeah. Just to answer Cryosynth's question, can you take a B complex after your session? I'm already prescribed B complexes, and even still, I'm still exhausted. It's still like the thing is that people need to realize after dialysis, my exhaustion isn't. I'm not using exhaustion in the same way you think of exhaustion. The exhaustion that I feel is beyond what a normal human feels, to the point where there are days where I can't even keep my head up. I have to lay down. Even just sitting up like this, I still can't even function. I have to literally lay down. And plus, I also suffer from hypotension, meaning I have low blood pressure. I'm hypotensive orthostatic. So with all that, that means I also have chronic fatigue, chronic illness, and low blood pressure. And people look at me and they're like, "Oh, you're a big guy. You must have high blood pressure." Nope. And my cholesterol is low too.
I have high blood pressure. The skinny guy. That's how it goes.
My blood pressure is low. My systolic stays within 110 or below. My diastolic stays around 50, sometimes in the 40s.
Somebody said
just to let y'all know.
Somebody said they're wishing you get a kidney. And I'm actually trying to get my one of my best friends' mother a kidney. I have a couple of donors, but what y'all don't understand is systems are put in place for a reason. They are making it so hard on us to get this woman a kidney. They are trying, they won't even tell her blood type without her paying for it. They can't even tell her blood type so I can go get other people tested and ready to swap kidneys. Well, not swap, but give her a kidney.
Yeah.
They making it so hard on us. But she's finally going through the steps. I'm trying to talk to people to find her a kidney. And it's way harder than what you guys would think. It's way harder because these people, they will really put shit in your way. Just like when I gave my best friend a baby. I gave her wife a baby. They got mad at us for that because it's a you know what I'm saying? It's steps to it. They want you to pick from what they want to give you. You know what I'm saying? Then you pay for this. You pay for every time you come in. You pay for that. You pay for that. We ain't paid for none of that. I just nutted inside the cup and gave it to her wife. So now they kept the baby and held Harmon hostage for $10,000 because something was wrong with him. And unless we paid the $10,000, they wasn't basically going to let him out in time. So we had to make a GoFundMe. I shared it. We got the money and we got the baby out of jail, basically. But they make it harder on you guys. No matter if you're doing this, you're doing that. They got these systems here to make money. You're going through these, you know what I'm saying? You're doing an alternative route. The alternative route can be a longer road, especially with these motherfuckers in their toll booths. You think you got far, you think you're doing something. Nope. Let me stop you right there. Yes, you might have people that want to give a kidney, but it costs this and that to get them tested. Okay, I got the money for that. Okay, well, you got to get her tested, and you got to get them tested for HIV, for AIDS, and you got to get them tested to see if the kidney fit in this. And you got to pay me money for this. You got to pay me money for that.
Yeah. And then people don't realize what's involved in the transplant process, because not only that, but you also have to get not only a physical test, you also have to get the tissue test, and you also have to get
Yes.
the oral examination because that's also tied to your health. You also have to get a mental evaluation to make sure that you're not crazy, so that
Yes.
you can actually give away an organ. So you have to
Yes.
do all that, and then on top of that, and this was told to me by someone who already received a kidney a few years ago, and he was trying to get another kidney again, is that some of these hospitals make you create a fund, and you have to have so much money. I think at the time it was $14,000
Yes.
that you had to raise to put in this fund, and it wouldn't sit there at 14,000. They would pull from the fund periodically, and you had to make sure it stayed up at that number. And if they didn't, then you were done. You wouldn't be able to do it. So on top of all that, then they would be like, okay, by the way, I can't smoke weed. I can't consume any cannabis, by the way. And I would have to, and I did get the jab, but if I didn't get the jab, I would have to get the jab.
Yeah. Like I couldn't get it. I couldn't get the jab because of my heart, because of my heart problems. And I used to have minor strokes when I was younger.
Yeah.
So I couldn't get the fucking the jab. It was gonna kill me.
Okay, so here's another thing, Venus. How long have you been waiting to get a kidney? I haven't been waiting to get a kidney because I'm not on the list first. And you have to get on the list. You have to qualify to get on the list. And one of the things you have to do is I have to bring down my BMI in order for me to get the list. And if anybody knows the history of BMI, BMI has a very racist history, and it's actually not scientifically accurate according to people's health. Because I can be muscle mass and still have a BMI too high. So guess what? If I was some big muscle dude, they would still deny me because of my BMI. So guess what? I'm being held back just because of that simple issue. Now I have to get to start working out and lose some weight, which that is a task in itself. I have a lot to lose, but
even though they could just remove the fat for you, whatever. But let's go.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is that bariatric surgery also has a lot of complications that people really don't talk about, and so that's a whole other thing, which is something I don't want to put myself through. So I would rather go the natural route. So I'm gonna try to do that, but at the same time, it's still a long process to go through. And the thing is according to dietitians, that the renal diet for dialysis patients is not very healthy. Of course, they want you to eat lots of fruits and veggies, but when it comes to grains, they want you to have white rice, white bread, and things like that because it is less in phosphorus and potassium. So things like that, it's like, hold on, kind of counterproductive. So it's a lot.
Then you see what's going to happen if you go at it like me and you try to jump the list. That's basically what I did. I jumped the list. I said, I got over 10 people that's ready to get tested, 10 people ready to give a kidney away, et cetera, et cetera. You try to jump that line, they're going to make sure that you are at the back of that bitch. Any way that they can. They're going to push you back. They're going to make it harder on you, especially you being a black dude. They do not need you alive. Actually, they will be better off with you dead, because then if you were a donor, you know what I'm saying? If you're an organ donor, they can just take what's left and what's good of you and just get the fuck on. They are killing you slowly, which is making them more money. You have to go to dialysis. You have to take these pills. You have to get on this diet. You have to go to this doctor. You have to do this and do that. They are killing you slowly for profit. But when you try to jump that gun, when you try to jump that line and say, hey, I don't even need you guys.
This is all pills. This is all pills, baby.
I don't
That's
even
what it
need
is.
you guys. I just need to get this kidney inside of me. They're gonna be like, no, it don't work like that.
Yeah,
you still have to pay. And even with you having people that's willing to do this and that, you got to have at least $20,000 on hand. $20,000 on hand just to get the procedure done. Well, just for them to get her in that fucking room.
Yeah. Yep. And by the way, I have to have, in order to pay for it, I got 2 insurances. I have 2 medical insurances. I have Medicare and Medicaid, because Medicare only pays for 80%. So if it's $100,000, then guess what? I have to come up with $20,000.
Yep.
So I have to have Medicaid to try to pick up the other 20%, which it may pick up some of it, but not all of it. So that still leaves me in a tank for thousands of dollars.
Yep.
See why I said, and by the way, you have to be on immunosuppressive medications for the rest of your life. And these medications cost thousands of dollars per month. And if you do not have the money or the insurance to pay for these medications, you're screwed. Because guess what? You'll lose that organ because your body will go into rejection mode. Boom, lost the organ.
And do you remember? I don't know. This has been a couple of years ago, but it was couples going out with suicide pacts because of their insurance. Check. Not insurance. I'm so sorry, y'all. The hospital bills were way too high. So we had older people killing themselves and in union to skip out on bills. We have older people killing themselves. Do y'all not know how horrible that is? Let me repeat it one more time, because I know that we have grown numb to a lot of this information and a lot of destruction that we have seen. I know we grow numb to it, but let me tell you again, we have older people committing suicide to get out of paying bills.
Mm-hmm.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
It's horrible. And we would never be able to afford to live as long as this is the system that we are living under. Like, we can sit here and bitch and complain and show you guys all types of ways that we are under the boot.
Mm-hmm.
But Revolutionary Blackout also tell you guys how to get from under that motherfucker. And sometimes, you know what? I'm able.
Mm-hmm.
JB is disabled.
Mm-hmm.
We still getting the word out there. I can fight a different way. He can fight a different way. But we're gonna have to bring this motherfucker down together in order for our lives to be any better. I mean, just by minuscule, we have to chop the arm off of white supremacy. We have to chop the arm off of white supremacy to loosen the grip from around our neck, from around our well-being, so we can live, so we can be, so we can have a society that actually take care of the people and not just 1% of you motherfuckers or a handful of you motherfuckers that's ready to sell out every time they throw a couple of dollars your way.
Yeah. And just to let you guys know, go to a dialysis center, especially in big metropolitan areas. I'm going to tell you this right now. Most of the people you're going to see as patients in dialysis centers are black.
Of course.
Black.
How many? What is the percentage of black people having diabetes compared to the rest of the nation? Ain't we like 80%?
Yeah, but that's the crazy part. I don't have diabetes. And a lot of people confuse this. They go, oh, you're on dialysis, so you have diabetes. No, I don't. I was born with nephrotic syndrome, which is a juvenile kidney disease. So this was going to happen whether I liked it or not. Yep. I could not prevent this. I have a disease that I didn't cause. It wasn't because I didn't take care of myself. No, I was born with this. My DNA said, you know what? No, you fucked up for the rest of your life. And it's like, okay. And people will look at me and go, oh, well, it's your own fault. No, it's not. Mm-hmm. And even still.
How can this be your fault when you are born with it? Not only that, but we have the money and we have the medicines to prevent these things. All of this, from diabetes, cancer cells, HIV, AIDS, all of these things are preventable and treatable.
Yeah.
But it don't make you money. If I was to sell you the cure to every fucking thing, how will I be able to get money off of it? How can I make money off of it? I won't, because all you motherfuckers are well off. I'll be better off with you motherfuckers on your deathbed begging for fucking pain pills, begging for some type of shot, begging for what I have for you. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead, bro. Go ahead. Do your thing. I see you got a picture.
Yep. This is the average cost for transplants. Kidney transplant, the average cost is $415,000.
Who got $500,000 just sitting around real quick? I need to borrow that.
Hardest 1.4.
I need. He gonna need a new heart, a new fucking kidney, and everything. Shit.
Yeah. Liver transplants, 813,000. Bone marrow transplant, 893,000. Like, this is crazy, right? And people wonder why I say Medicare for all is no longer good enough. I said my price went up. I want full nationalization. Because guess what? I'm sick and tired of it. No.
Oh,
y'all talking about Medicare for all. Y'all should have did that shit years ago.
Yeah,
guess what? My price was just went up.
Medicare for all. Yes. And that's how we should. I'm gonna buy this from you. Yeah. And see, the thing is, I have always been down with nationalizing everything because I am a commie. So I do want us to have the control over everything. You know what I'm saying? Electric grid, the airlines, et cetera, et cetera. But
yeah.
Can you hear me, JB?
Yes. Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, nope, I can't hear you. Hold on.
And you're right. Because he doesn't believe in it. He doesn't believe in a public option. He doesn't believe in the public.
Excuse me.
I can hear you.
There you go. Yeah. Damn it. What the fuck I was saying? No, somebody had called me. I'm doing this from my phone. And every time somebody called me, I can't hear myself.
Okay.
Damn, what the fuck was I saying?
We were talking about the costs for transplants and things like that.
Well, anyways, even though I'm high, so forgive me. Nobody can afford to live. Nobody can actually afford to live. Not even the rich people. They're not willing to pay for that shit. They have insurance plans. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? To combat that. Nobody can actually afford to live, man. And this is the fucking problem that we have overall. Like, we might have differences in between each other. You might be a social democrat. I'm a communist. This person is an anarchist. This person is a liberal. Whatever your ideology is, whatever your skin color is, no matter what zip code that you live in, I guarantee we all need universal health care. See, Medicare for all, it puts us in a better place, but it doesn't address the corporate fascism that we are living under. It actually gives these people more power. You know what I'm saying? And it actually gives these people room to negotiate and rewrite our laws. But when we're talking about nationalizing healthcare, it's a little too impossible to try to you know what I'm saying, do a Trojan horse and that, or write down a bill. Because when we nationalize these things, when we make it open to the public, when the people can actually put money into it, when we actually own it, when we get in taxes back from it, then we're going to be like, okay, well, yeah, this is how we should have been living. And this is all commies want. These people, these Americans, they think communism is some fucking big overreach of the government, even though we live under corporate fascism right now, even though the fucking banks can freeze your fucking credit cards and your debit cards right now if they don't agree with you or your ideology. That shit not happen under communism. It's not about the fucking government having more control. It's the people that have more control over the government. Communism is bad for business, but it's good for the people. So yes, you might not make it. You might not be a billionaire under communism. You might not be a hundred millionaire under communism, but we're gonna live better, man. We won't have conversations like this where we need to raise $50,000 for one kidney. We can just do it because we have the money. We have the money. We just seen the money get blown up. I seen JB and my brother kidney money get blown up in a single Russian airstrike. I seen our money get shot up throughout the police departments. I seen their money for their health get blown on bullshit. Like right now, New York is putting $800 million into a new stadium. They putting $800 million into a new stadium, and guess how much money they just took from public education? Just guess the fucking number. $800 million. So they robbed these kids from a future. They robbed them of healthcare. They robbed them of housing, and they give you a fucking football team.
Yeah. Hey, Rome, just to let you know, I know you're getting very passionate, but whenever single time your voice goes up really high, the speaker cracks when you speak. So just letting you know. Like I appreciate and love your passion. It's just on a technical thing. You're
my bad. Now, you sit your ass down. But you know, I just get so built up, man, because I got family members that's really going through it. I got tutors going through it. I got, you know, y'all might not know it, and Nick isn't gonna show it.
Yeah.
But he's sick. Nick is sick. I caught coronavirus before. We can't afford to do this shit. All I can afford to do is be black and die. That's it. I can't afford no medicines. I can't afford no therapist. I can't afford no physical therapy. My insurance don't cover that shit. I'm too poor.
Yeah. Did you guys know that even though I have Medicare, I still have to pay premiums? I still have to pay premiums. I have Medicare.
Got me fucked up. I was in a mental hospital. This is about 2 years ago. I tried to kill myself, and they were trying to cook me up on all these pills. I'm like, I don't need no pills. I don't need no pills. I don't need no pills. Like, I just got clean from pills. I just need somebody to talk to. They kept on trying to push me on this shit. I'm like, and then like once I left, they called me talking about I owed them $3,000.
For what?
I'm like, I didn't take no pills. All I did was I took up room space and I ate some food. I said, you know what? This back when Bernie was running. I was like, you know what? Bernie Sanders gonna run, just add it to the bill. Bernie Sanders running, we're gonna get Medicare for all, add it to the bill. I ain't paying them shit, and they still call to this day. Why should I have to pay, bro? I still pay taxes for Ohio.
Bro, you just had a hospital. Bro, you just had a hotel stay. That's basically what it was.
3 days. And they didn't even let me out. They don't let you out when you want. It got to be mandatory 48 hours.
That's crazy, man.
And then when I get out from having my suicide episode, they say, hey, you owe me $3,000. I should kill myself because I ain't no way I'm paying that shit back. Either I kill myself or you suck my dick because I ain't paying that back.
You already went through something and now they're trying to put you through something else.
Can't afford to live, bro.
Can't afford to live. You know, and that's one of the things that, you know, this is one of the reasons why I advocate for, you know, things like, you know, housing, you know, universal housing, things like that, because people are sick and tired of it, you know, and I'm just, you know, this is one of the reasons why I, you know, do I want to get off dialysis? You know, and people wonder why I have like my Cash App or my GoFundMe up on my page.
It's because you're a grifter, JB. It's because you're a fucking grifter. You're not sick. You're not going to dialysis.
I guess I'm not a kidney dialysis patient. I guess not. Even though my axis is right here, you know, even though I get stuck with 2 15-gauge needles every other day and I have to do 4.5 hours of dialysis treatment every single time. Yeah. And then on top of it, because guess what? You guys wouldn't be able to watch me if I had a job because I'd be working 4 days a week like I did a couple years ago. JB, hey, look, okay, fine. If I'm a grifter, okay, I'm gonna go out and get a job. But guess what? I have to cancel my show. I can't be on RBN no more. JB channel has to go away because I won't have the energy to do it, and I won't have the time to do it.
You want to know how you make money? I can tell you an easy way to make money right now. All right, so quit RBN, right? Mm-hmm. Quit RBN and say vote blue no matter who. More, you're gonna have so much motherfucking money coming in. I'm telling you, bro. When I was fucking pulling for Bernie Sanders, bro, not only was money coming in, I'm talking about females, I'm talking about men, I'm talking about nigga.
Now the man part, I don't know. Maybe you have a point there, bro.
All you gotta do is say, I quit RBN and I'm going back into the Democrats. You want money? You want a new kidney? They're gonna pay for it. You go against us. They give you money to release secrets, bro. They give you money to go out and do some rumors, bullshit. But they ain't gonna give you money to live. They give you money against us, though.
Yep.
That's how you do it. That's how you get your kidney. And when you get your kidney, come back home.
Deuces, and then leave and come back to RBN. Grift off the Democrats.
Because, like, if you wanted to grip, that's all you had to say is vote blue no matter who, bro. Like, we know that shit not going to work. We know these people can't win going against dark money. We saw your favorite Nina Turner just lose. We see that AOC is even in trouble. We see that Ilhan Omar is in trouble. You can't win playing other people games that they have created to make you lose. So what happens when you actually play and there's no cheat codes in and there's no favorites and they didn't put the control down, nigga, you lose. You motherfucking lose.
Yeah. And you know, and while we're at it, why aren't we talking about people who are disabled like me who are living in poverty? This is why I got my Cash App up. This is why I got my GoFundMe up. It's because I can't even barely live. Hold up, wait a minute. People are like, oh, well, you know, you're getting free money from the government. Free what? Like what? Are you seriously telling me that $1,000 from the government, which most of my money goes straight towards rent, and you mean to tell me that I'm grifting, that Bro, I'm living life off the hog?
Let me tell you something that I had to tell a conservative, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You pay taxes, okay?
Yeah.
You don't get money from the government. The government gives you back your money. You don't get a damn thing from this government. And we are looking at numbers and what they actually supposed to be doing to take care of the human life, how much money you actually supposed to spend on a human. You're not getting nothing from the government. The government is getting more from you than they will ever give back to you. So fuck what these niggas talking about, bro. Fuck you and fuck taxes, nigga. Fuck them. Because you know what? At the end of the day, even if my nigga was getting money from the government, it's not even enough. It's not even enough to take care of him. It's not enough to fucking put food on the table. It's not enough for rent throughout the month. It's not enough.
Yeah.
And it's pennies on a dollar that you guys are trying to complain about. And you say, oh, I pay money for you guys to have a bridge card. I pay money for this and that. We do too.
Yep.
We do too. You can't have a fucking bridge card without having a fucking income. You can't get fucking welfare without having a fucking income. Stop it.
Yep.
Stop acting like people are just surviving off of the government. The government survives off of us. They steal our money. They steal our wages. They put it into foreign fucking countries. They blow up other people with it, or they're gonna get their fucking money blown up. Yeah. They have taken more from us than we ever fucking will. Yep. Than we ever will. So don't ever come at my brothers or anybody who's getting government assistance and telling them that they get enough. It's never a fucking enough. It's never a fucking enough until we nationalize our healthcare. It's never enough until everybody is well off. It's never enough until we have preventable diseases that is getting treated. It isn't enough, and it will never be enough. And I swear, if one of you bitch ass niggas got the balls to say that shit in front of my face, I will choke the shit out of you, bro. Because I got real people going through this shit. And this not no fucking this ain't no Twitter bullshit. This ain't no Facebook argument beef. Bro, I will smack you, bro. This is real life. And the way I see it, you motherfuckers simping for the government who don't even give a fuck about you. You don't own no land. You don't own no land. You don't own any buildings. You don't have any stock. You're not a weapon contractor. You're not an oil tycoon. You're not a big pharma. They don't give a motherfuck, nigga. Yeah. So stop simping and get down with the get down. Come and help the fucking people, bitch. Yeah. Because you know what? It's JB today. It's your mama tomorrow.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you right now. By the way, Congratulations. Give a clap for me. They raised my food stamp benefits from $16 to $24.
Oh, so you mean I gotta pay 2 more pennies in taxes because you get $2. So I have to pay to make sure that your black ass eat. I have to pay 2 more pennies to make sure that your black ass family eat, you motherfucking niggers. I can't stand when motherfucking niggers eat. I have to pay 2 more cents on my taxes. Fuck out of here.
By the way, guys, thanks for the apple juice. Thanks. It was great. It was great going down. Yeah, I got the bots kind, you know. So yeah, that's what we got with our food stamps. Oh, and the graham crackers were good too. By the way, just to let y'all know. Yeah, I got the honey maids. I got the honey maids with the cinnamon on it. That's what your tax dollars bought. Thank you. Thank you. I can have this as a kidney dialysis because it's lower in phosphorus. Thank you. Mwah. Thank you. Thanks for the, you know. So the thing is that people automatically think because they see me on camera on YouTube, they think, oh, I'm raking in a whole bunch of money. I'm still on food stamps, man. I'm still on food stamps. And even the food stamps I get is wholly inadequate.
They cut me down to $16, JB. You know what I told my worker? I said, bitch. Nigga, I said this. I said, bitch, $16, I got 2 kids and a mortgage. Well, you work at Bed Bath & Beyond and you make this much. And blah. What? Did you tally up the 2 kids? Did you tally up the $1,000 in mortgage that I paid? Did you tally up my rent and my bills? No.
95% of what I get from the government goes towards rent. Look, I am 37 years old, and I can't afford to live on my own.
I told that motherfucker, you might as well just cut me off. $16, bro, I can just go sell some fucking weed. I can go sell 3 bags of weed and just get me... I have fucking 35 by then. 3 little fucking dime bags. $30. Look, I ain't about to fucking sit here and waste it. Bro. Just go ahead and give it to somebody else. Because why should I? $16, you insulting me, bro. I have 2 children and a grandson.
Yeah. It's like what am I supposed to do? Like, and then they'll be like, you can only make so much per month, you know. And I'm like I want to ask the state of Florida, why only $26? Is that adequate for me to live on? How in the hell when I told y'all my rent went up last year, my rent went up, and then you guys have decided that $24.
And you want to know what's so ill about this, bro?
We
have rich families like the Watson family that get food stamps.
Wait, what?
Yes. A lot of rich families qualify for food stamps, nigga. Yes.
Whoa. Hold up, bro. Hold up.
And not only that, look at the trick. Look at the trick that they pulled, right? Let's say we are the Watson family, right? We make Walmart, all right? We lower all our prices down to where it's unbeatable. So we murder the mom and pop shops, right?
Yeah.
So after the mom and pop shops are done and gone with, now we raise our prices back up, but we don't raise our wages. So now the people that was working at the mom and pop shops, they're making $12 an hour now with no benefits. And guess what? They make just so little that they can be able to qualify for the bridge card. So what happens? What happens on your days off or when you are getting off of work at Walmart, Target, grocery store, et cetera, et cetera?
Mm-hmm.
You spend your fucking bridge card right with them. So not only are they making money off of your back, stealing wages, calling it profit, they are taking your food stamp money and getting that money too.
Hold up. Sula Moon, I wish I got $25 a week. $24 a month. That's what I'm talking about. That is $6 per week. That's how much in food stamps I get. $6 per week. If you're not laughing at that, go ahead, laugh at it, because it is laughable. At the fact that they think that someone who's pulling in what I get, which is very little.
Motherfuckers always punch down on niggas like you because it's easy to, bro. It's easy to. I can't go at the Bill Gates who owns 75% of our farmland. I can't go at the Pfizer, who's not only got their hand in damn near everything. You know what I'm saying? I can't go after them. I'm not gonna go after the big boys. Let me go after this poor black man who's hanging on for dear life. Because it's easier to punch down.
Yeah.
These motherfuckers are pussy. Pussy. And I don't know. See, I'm from a different world. A lot of people say, Ron, you can't say these words. You can't call people bitches and pussies and shit like that. But I'm going to say what the fuck I feel. These niggas is pussy. You would never fucking punch up to an exec. You would never punch up to a fucking oil tycoon. You would never punch up to one of the pharma execs. You're going to come after us, a motherfucker with heart problems. Because motherfuckers came after me because I couldn't take the motherfucking shot because I have heart problems. They didn't go after the vaccine that hurt people with heart problems. They went after me because I have heart problems. You pussy. Pussy as Americans, bro. So conditioned to fight one another. So conditioned to tear down everything that the people have built. Every relationship. Just a fucking cent for fucking big pharma. Oh, you didn't get the shot, you're an anti-vaxxer. You didn't get the booster, you're an anti-vaxxer. You didn't get the booster? Well, you're an anti-vaxxer. Hold on, bitch. I'm not anti-vax. I just read what the fuck was actually going on. And now the same thing that I was telling you guys, they are coming out with a year later saying, hey, these vaccines wasn't as safe as we promised. They actually don't stop any diseases. Some of them actually carry the disease. So imagine if me and JB would have took those shots. We wouldn't be right here having these conversations with you guys.
Actually, I did get the jab.
Well, I didn't. How many you got?
I only got one because my doctor recommended that I get one.
Yeah.
That's all I got. I didn't get anything.
Nigga,
else.
it don't even work no more after that. Like, bro, after my girl got one, 2 weeks later, the doctor called her and was like, "Oh yeah, you got to get another one because that one don't even work no more. It's obsolete."
No, I haven't gotten any other jabs since the first one in the beginning of 2020, and I still haven't gotten the virus. But
I'm glad you didn't get them boosters, boy. I'm glad because I'm telling you, though, the boosters are killing disabled people. They are killing disabled people, man.
Well,
and
it's actually
we have to know with vaccines, they have to put a little bit of that virus inside of that vaccine for your cells to know how to fight and what to fight, for your immune system to know what to fight when it comes back. So you may catch coronavirus again or once or twice, but your body should know how to fight it with the vaccine. That's what we do with the flu. That's what we do with the cold medicines and et cetera, et cetera. We had them here, polio. Mm-hmm. You put them in the body, just a little dosage for the body to learn how to fight it. But what they have done was little to no research and just put out a flu vaccine. That's exactly what it is. It's a flu vaccine.
But just to let you know, that's not exactly how this one worked. It was the mRNA. So it works differently than the
Johnson & Johnson.
From the other, jabs used to work. I use jabs because YouTube gets very fickety with using that word, so I don't use it. But the thing is that so it's definitely different. And one of the people who I like to talk to about it is Rob Durden, because he's actually a doctor and he went to medical school, and so he talks about it. He talks a lot about it on Rockfin because he can't really talk about it on YouTube, but Yeah. So I mean, but other than that, I mean, we are pressed because we are constantly forgotten within this country. And so because we don't produce like they want us to,
Mhm.
they want to move us over to the side and say, go pass away over there because we don't care about you existing.
Yep.
And so, and I even talk about this, on different disability panels. And the thing is that a lot of times we as disabled people, we talk about things like access and how we're being treated as disabled people. But the thing I want my fellow disabled people to talk about more is what we get as far as benefits, because that doesn't get talked about that much. And then you'll get some of these politicians saying, how are we going to pay for it? And the thing is like, y'all got enough money to send $13 billion over to Ukraine, but you don't have enough money to raise the disability benefits for those of us who are disabled across the
Listen to
country.
me, JB. Let me ask you a question, bro. Excuse me. Holy fuck, that weed is good.
Mm-hmm.
We. No, but why would I give health care to a guinea pig? Why should I give health care to a lab rat?
That's your mindset.
That's how they look at us. They test their drugs out on us. And then once it's safe enough, they raise the price out of it. They raise the hell of it, even though we funded it, even though our money made it.
Yeah.
But why should they give rablets health care? You guys are nothing but test subjects. From the projects, I mean, you know what I mean? The Black People Projects. You guys are test subjects.
Mm-hmm.
From the prisons, the streets, your schools, right? Why should I give health care to a lab rat? What good does that does to me? What money do I get?
Yeah.
What capital do I get out of making you guys more healthy?
There's no money in curing, dude.
Nothing. I get nothing. So I'm not giving money or health care to a lab rat because you are only here to fulfill certain purposes. And once I'm done with you, you go on the fucking streets like the rest. You go beg with the fucking vets that we put through them wars. I'm done with you. Why should I give health care to a lab rat? You are nothing to me. And that's how they see us.
That's how they see us. And you know what? I would love to go down south to Florida, get on a boat, and go to Cuba and get some health care. But at the same time, I know they will be tough for somebody like me because the sanctions are so tough on Cuba that, I don't know if, I know that I would get cared for. They would try their damnedest to do it for me. But even still, it would still be tough because of the sanctions that they place on them.
What you do is, look, this is the trick. You go to Mexico, right? You stay in Mexico 3 months. You denounce your American citizenship. And then you go to Cuba from Mexico. You don't go to Cuba straight from America because not only are the sanctions going to hit you, but they're going to see you as an American who's basically as a spy. You know what I'm saying? You can't be trusted. And you might not get accepted to even come into Cuba. So go to Mexico first.
Gotcha.
Learn some Spanish.
Yeah, I need to. But we're a little over time. Just wanted to, and I Rome, because you're gonna be here tomorrow. I want to end on a happy note. Plus, I got to get going because I got to clean up the bathroom because I don't want you to smack me in the face for having a dirty toilet.
I'm gonna be there on the 2nd or the 3rd. I gotta. My auntie just called. I'm gonna be in Jacksonville. Then I'm gonna catch the bus straight up because my plane didn't go to Orlando because of the spring break. it costs way more to get there. It costs $1,000 to get to Orlando, and it costs
$1,000.
Yeah, and it costs $400 to get to Jacksonville.
Man, all right.
Y'all got Disney World. Y'all got Disney World. Y'all got Nick Studios and all that shit. So it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I'm like 25 minutes from Disney World, but that big ass mouse, ugly ass. But what I want to do is I want to end this stream on a happy note, right? Just to let y'all know, tomorrow is our 1 year anniversary for RBN.
Mm-hmm.
1 year. So guess what? You guys, we're trying to, we're almost to 15,000 subs. If you guys aren't subscribed, like
nigga, subscribe. Make fake pages. Subscribe to that and just go. I don't give a fuck how you do it. Go on your mama phone.
Your mama phone.
Go on your auntie phone. Go on your son, your daughter, your nieces, your nephews. Go on your next door neighbor's phone. Subscribe. Buy a new fucking pad. Buy a new iPad. Do whatever. Go in the motherfucking Metro PCS store or the fucking Apple store and go on all these motherfucking things and subscribe. We need the fucking love. We need to beat this algorithm. We need to beat these fuckers that's trying to keep us down. We have been going strong for years. For a year now. About to be tomorrow. We have been going strong. And nigga, we really love and appreciate all the support. But motherfucker, I know it's a handful of you motherfuckers out there that's not subscribed. Subscribe and show us some love, bro, because we put our life on the line for you guys. We put our face and our voices on the line for you guys. All we ask for is fucking subscription. Nigga, I'm about to head to Florida and go feed some people I don't even fucking know. Come on, bro. Subscribe. Go make fake pages. Go do this and that. Go whatever. I don't give a fuck. I'm not doing it. But I appreciate it if you
do. Make a Google account for your dog and then have your dog subscribe.
Come on, man. Do something for a nigga.
You got a cat? Them too. You got a snake? All right, we'll take that too.
Oh yeah.
Mr. Slithers got a subscription.
I don't give a fuck. Cause you know what? And one thing I fear, like people like how Kyle Kalinske still got this many followers and shit like that. I'm like, man, you niggas dead. No, real shit though. It's either like when I see people with like with a high subscriber account when they've been here for a minute and people just don't watch your show. Like, okay, you got a 500,000 subscribers, but you got 2K people watching your videos. Something is wrong. Either you are being ignored or your audience is gone. They're not on YouTube anymore. They're not on this platform. They dead and gone and shit like that. But y'all niggas were here with us. We know. Hopefully, we don't lose anybody. If we have, holy fuck, that would hurt me. That would hurt me for real. I don't want to lose none of you, at all. We got a long way to go, and we got a hell of a revolution to fight. You can't die right now. You can die in the revolution. Just don't die right now.
He's like, it's too soon. It's too soon, man. It's too soon.
Don't let these motherfuckers take y'all out, bro. We still got a revolution to go through. We need y'all, for real.
Yeah. It's just, I just want you all to know that, this has been a wild journey, and I am so proud, of the members of RBN. And I'm glad that, I'm basically finishing off my first year by being part of Rome's Tour for the Poor. I mean, what a privilege. We get
It's a privilege to have you, bro. Like, for real.
Yeah. This has been, a wild ride that I had, I didn't think it was going to ever happen for me, and here we are, coming up on a year later, and we have this platform now, which, we can spread the message of people, knowing that they have power and that they can actually have a better life than what they have now. That we can have nice things and it can be shared by all. Love you, Sula. And so I just want to say that I want to thank you, Rome. I want to thank you, and all the other members of RBN for accepting me into your circle. Because it's something that I've been wanting to do. I am humbled and deeply appreciative of it.
Nigga, we done been through some shit. We've been through some shit, bro. And, man, a lot of people that came here with us, they're not here with us today.
Yeah.
But to tell the truth, I don't give a fuck. But you know what I'm saying? Because I only wanted certain people any fucking way. You know what I'm saying? The people that I wanted is the people that's here. Yeah. So it is what it is, and I appreciate you from, you know what I'm saying, sticking it out with me, teaching me, and helping me grow and learn. This is why I feel open enough to even share Tour for the Poor with you and whatnot. And I know that I can't go too hard. We're not going to be out here doing what I usually do. You know what I'm saying? We're going to try to stick in 1 or 2 places. We can come 50-50 with this,
Yeah, because motherfucker, you're going to need a wheelbarrow for my ass, You're going
to
get your workout in this weekend, bro.
You ever saw a big ass nigga getting rolled up Florida? Shit.
Hey, man, who was that cut dude wheelbarrowing that big ass black dude in that wheelbarrow? What was he doing?
This fat ass nigga every fucking where.
And he dragging a dialysis machine with. Why?
That's his dad. Oh my God, he's abusing his dad.
Okay, that's his dad.
White people gonna go crazy. Like, oh my God, you can't just do that. He's disabled. You have no idea. I can't believe you. I'm so flabbergasted.
Nah. Some of them are gonna be like, oh, look at him. He's helping his friend.
Rolling his ass up the street. Get your motherfucker. I'm cussing the whole way home. Motherfucker.
Man, I'm tired.
And this nigga will go into a motherfucking coma.
Man, why you pass out? Like, I had dialysis today, Rome. I don't care. Man, you should have passed out. You should have told me so.
Look, man, it's either Tour for the Poor or dialysis. Which is more important? Look. I had enough of your excuses, JB. I'm sick. I ain't got it. I ain't trying to hear that shit. Get your ass outside, nigga. My heart, bro. You think these capitalists don't give a fuck? Wait till I tell you how I feel. We gonna die feeding people. Hey, but low key, I want y'all to watch out because me and JB might be going to jail.
Maybe.
We might be going to jail. Because I can't hand out stuff with JB. We can't be out here doing this and that. So what we're gonna try to do is a cookout. Like a movable barbecue. You know what I'm saying? Just a portable barbecue, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
So it's illegal. I didn't pull a permit. Florida is racist as fuck and crazy as shit. So we might be going to jail. So, just if we do go to jail, go back to this stream, clip it, and tell them that we gave you guys a head up. And bail us out because we broke, bitch. No.
No, for real. We
dead ass. Yeah, dead ass.
Yeah. Like I told y'all, $24 in food stamps. I'm broke. So. And yeah. Make it an electric wheelchair so Roma have to push me.
That don't sound bad. I'll push you in a wheelchair. I don't give a fuck.
Nah. I'm all right. It's just that I gotta take. I just gotta make sure.
Things.
Yeah. Yeah, but I just want to,
nigga, I'm gonna have a barbecue grill tied up to his wheelchair foot thingies, right? So when I pull the barbecue grill, I can pull him and the fucking barbecue grill at one fucking time. Boom.
I don't think I'm gonna need all that, but at the same time, just as long as I know my limitations and we out there, then we'll have a good time and we'll just be helping people. That's what it's all about.
You're gonna get a pedicure after we done for sure.
Man, my feet are jacked up, bro.
You gonna need a pedicure.
Don't look. No, we are not going to, shock and scare those poor people.
Look, that's how I
at that
feel.
shop with
Bro,
my feet. No.
One of my toenails popped off, bro. When I was younger, one of my toenails popped off because I was a badass little nigga. I used to, how we always touch. You know what I'm saying? We always touch the top of those, right? Tell me why my dumb ass jumped from like right here to like right there. I landed on my motherfucking toe and that bitch said boom, boom, boom. Hit me on my motherfucking forehead. So now I'm just in a state of shock, right?
Yeah.
My foot start bleeding so fucking bad. And then I didn't even feel it until I seen it. And then I'm looking like, oh my God, my toe is gone. But my sisters, they don't make it no better. They start laughing at me. So now I had to fight my sisters because I pushed one of my sisters and then they all jumped on me while my fucking toe was bleeding. I got 5 sisters. I had 4 at this time. They all started jumping on me. My toe bleeding. But yeah, that was a hell of a story. And my older sister tried to hit me with a broom. Man, that was a hell of a fight. I had to be John Wick in that bitch. Sisters will beat your ass if you are not. But I'm telling you, look. Okay, so when my toenail finally grew back, bro. Okay, let me.
That's good.
No. Okay, that's how it looked. It was green and black and just so messed up, bro. It was so messed up. It was so thicker than my other toe. And it didn't even look like a nail. Like it never grew back the same. But once I started working on my feet, because a lot of people get bad backs, but they're because they don't take care of their feet. They have headaches. They have migraines. They're because you don't take care of your feet. Your feet connected to your legs, your back, your brain, your spinal cord. It's all connected. Take care of your feet, and you will feel so much better, man.
Yeah.
You will feel so much better. But we're gonna get your feet done, even if it costs $100 fucking. We're gonna fucking fundraise for this shit because you not only as somebody with fucked up feet, but as somebody that's sick, your feet has to be taken care of because that is like deadly, especially with the games that you are playing with these dialysis. You don't have diabetes, but if you did, I would be on your head about your feet for real. But you still have to go to dialysis. So take care of your feet. We're gonna get your feet done, and after all that shit done, we're gonna relax. We're gonna smoke some weed that I bring from Jacksonville, and
yeah. Actually, it's funny you mentioned it because I do have plantar fasciitis. So.
See.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that, but yeah.
Oh, man, you got so much shit going on. Nigga, I need to get some money and put a life insurance claim on your
You know how much money you would get for me?
I need to put some money on this motherfucker. God damn, talk about a gamble. No.
By the way, Jessica in Orlando, Central Florida. Orange County.
Oh my God, man.
Yeah.
I need some insurance money on your ass, boy. Yeah, he's a liability to the company.
He's a liability to the company. All right, man. We gotta go, man.
All right,
I'm hungry. I'm hungry, and I gotta lay down for a second before I clean up this bathroom because I gotta make sure I get it done.
All right,
But hey, look, everybody. please make sure to give us a thumbs up if you like this stream. And if you hate what I had to say, go ahead and put it in the comments, whatever.
Hey man, if you hate what he had to say, subscribe and tell him later. Subscribe now.
Subscribe
and tell him later.
And tell me later. Yeah. Go ahead, subscribe and tell me later. And and even if you don't like me, I love you too. Mwah, forehead kisses. I love y'all. And don't forget.
Everybody.
Yep. Oh, we know that. You ain't got to advertise it all the time, Rome.
I'm Uncle Grandpa, man.
You Uncle Grandpa?
Yeah. You can ask my nephew. Where my nephew at? Man, and I'm Uncle Grandpa. That's my real name, bro. I'm really Uncle Grandpa. I give love to everybody, bro. Like, yeah. And keep me away from your grandma and your aunties. But that's not the whole thing.
We're not gonna do this again. Rome.
I'm just saying, if your auntie and your grandma looking
no, Rome. I'm cutting off the stream right now. Nope. We ain't going for this. Not again. Hell no. No. Rome, don't you do that. You better behave yourself. I'm cutting it off. Bye, everybody. I love you. Baby.